interdisciplinary university community collaborative designed to meet the needs of the nonprofit and voluntary sector in this province of Saskatchewan. As we gather here today as a community, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathering on Treaty 4 land, the original lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Let's take a moment to honor and pay respect to the First Nations and Métis people for this gathering that we hope will deepen relationships with one another around a topic of great importance, community. I'm also delighted to welcome you to this innovation place, a beautiful complex that is home to over 1,200 employees from 33 organizations that includes some of the leading information technology and environmental science corporations in our province, country, and the world. We wish to thank the staff at Innovation Place, particularly Jenna and Michelle, for making this beautiful open space available to help us explore this important question that we will discuss today. How can universities contribute to community success? I would also like at this beginning to acknowledge the generous financial support of the Community Initiatives Fund, who provided funding for our keynote speaker and the event today. The purpose of this forum is to bring members of the university, faculty, students, staff, and community, citizens, capacity builders, nonprofit and volunteer organizations together to begin a two-way dialogue between the university and the community, creating reciprocal partnerships and leveraging the knowledge and expertise that we each have to address social challenges. This forum is one of many ways that the University of Regina and its federated colleges are engaged in our communities. And as we move forward, we want to know from you how we can best work together to share university knowledge and resources to not only increase the efficiency of relationships, but our collective impact. All right, before I introduce our speakers this morning and before we start with a smudging ceremony, I'd like to just go over a few housekeeping items. Your information packet that you got when you signed in includes many things, including the program agenda, which has the format for the day. You'll notice there is a place for a short break and for time to visit the volunteer programs that have their booths set up. There's a list of roundtable questions that we will choose to discuss later in the day. So make sure you look through that list sometime and choose 2 questions that you would like to discuss. We will try to keep the introduction to speakers to a minimum. The fuller bios are all in the packet, and you can look them up there. Similarly, with the wonderful folks who are back there with the different volunteer and nonprofit programs and their contact information, you'll find it all in your packet. We'll be using a chime to keep us on track and to move you through, especially the roundtable discussions. And I'm not going to try it out because I don't know how it works. Somebody else is going to do that. All right. Bathrooms, that's a very important thing to know. So they're just here to, I guess, my right, your left, just a short way down the hallway to the left then. Please note that this event is being live streamed and recorded so that people who are out in especially the northern and rural parts of the province can benefit from the event. And very importantly, there are door prizes. So please stick around right to the end because that's when we will have the door prizes. You will find a raffle ticket in the back of your name tag, and that's what will be used to for the door prizes. And there are several great prizes, which we want to thank Sarah Gallagher of St. John Ambulance and Rob Harrison of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders Association for. Now, finally, don't forget to follow the forum on Twitter. I don't use that, so you just figure out what that means. If you do Twitter, I'm sure you know. and share the experience with those who cannot be with us today. And the hashtag is VSSN Forum 2018. It's also on the tags on your table. So at this time, I would, by the way, we're going to have the smudging ceremony, and so we're going to go offline at this time. So just any of people who are watching from afar, there'll just be a pause while we do.
Of our heritage, as well as the heritage of our students and our children in the future. I'm a relatively new person at the university. I just started at the university about 8 weeks ago. Having said that, though, as I reflected on the topic of today's forum, connection with our community, I realized that I've actually been connected with the university for a fairly significant part of my life. I grew up in Regina and attended several youth basketball camps here as a youngster. I've taken several classes, both through the university and through the continuing education campus at College Avenue. I've participated as a board member on the University of Regina Rams football team. I've hired several of the university grads in previous employment that I had at Sastel and at Everest Place. I've worked with university representatives in the promotion of our city through economic development, and I've served as a volunteer judge for JDC West teams. And through all of that, I recognized that I enjoyed my connections with the university so much that it was just appropriate that I come and work at the university. When one steps back to take stock, the university is really central to so many things that bring a community together. And it's evident to me that our university, the University of Regina, is delivering on its motto, as one who serves. Our university is conducting research that will benefit so many people in our community and communities across Canada. Some examples of this, as many of you have maybe have recently heard, is the recent announcement of the $30 million in federal funding that we've received going into research into prevention and treatment of post-traumatic stress injuries in Canada's first responders, a career and a profession that we rely on so much to keep us safe and to keep the people that we love safe. In addition to that, there's the work of researchers in the George Reed Center on campus. There's the work of many of our individual researchers. I see one of them here today, Holly Bartoots, that I've just recently met, and so many others that I know are on campus doing research to help the community and to help the country and the globe that we live in. We also offer community-based education and learning opportunities. We have the Center for Continuing Education, which benefits people of all ages. We also have recently hosted programs such as the Inspiring Leadership Forum, which was held in early March for about 600 women and men to have personal development. That's led by our president. Just as we contribute to the community, we're lucky to have strong community partners who contribute to us. The partnerships that we have in our community support such things as Regina-based and provincial businesses participating in our cooperative education program, employing our students and providing them with opportunities for experiential learning. Community engagement just doesn't support the university. Do you know that the university actually contributes $0.5 billion to the city and to the province in economic impact every year? That's a fairly significant number, and one that I think is fairly awe-inspiring when you consider the impact to a province and a city our size. Today's forum is a wonderful opportunity to discuss and learn more about our connection with our communities, specifically explore the question of how we can contribute to the success of the not-for-profit sector, how beneficial it is to extend the conversation from the voluntary sector studies network at Luther College to the wider campus and the wider community. And I want to thank all of you for that and for your participation today. Today, we're honored to have someone as distinguished as Dr. David Rentz from the Midwest Center for Not-for-Profit Leadership at the University of Missouri, Kansas City with us, and we're thrilled that local leaders are participating on the panel as well. This promises to be a very fruitful day, and on behalf of President Timmins, again, I'd like to extend our best wishes for a successful forum. I hope that you enjoy your day and you take a lot away from the presentations today. Thank you.
So sharing greetings on behalf of First Nations University is Bettina Schneider, Associate Vice President Academic at First Nations University of Canada.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I really want to thank all of the organizers here for organizing and making this possible today, bringing us all together to share and learn from one another. I know that I wanted to first bring greetings on behalf of our president, President Doc Stater, and our vice president academic, Dr. Bob Casius. And we all really value the work of the nonprofit community. We value community. It's at the heart of what we do at First Nations University. It guides our vision, it guides our classes, it guides our research, our every day. You know, it's crucial for us, and I know for the larger university community as well, to take guidance from the community, to understand what their needs and priorities are, to truly embrace a community-driven model in terms of the work we do. And so the more that we can have that engagement with the nonprofit sector, the more we can really have meaningful, deep discussions about where the priorities are, what the needs are. I think the more we can truly tighten those bonds and that relationship between the university and the larger community, the larger nonprofit sector. So I can't thank Luther enough for today, and for all of you to being here. And I know this. I'm excited to see what comes out of today and the discussions that we'll have. So thank you very much, and I hope everyone has an incredible afternoon.
So next, I would like to introduce to you President John Meehan, who will provide welcoming remarks from Luther's sister college, Campion College.
Thank you very much, Volker. It's an honor to be here today and to see so many people here to work on relations between community and the university. I'd like to recognize that we are on Treaty 4 land and the homeland of the Métis, and to honor not only the land, but also the people, the cultures, the history, and the spiritualities of our First Nations brothers and sisters. And I'm so glad to see Noel and Langan here. And Noel and Langan have taught me quite a bit, especially about relationship and how relationship is at the heart of community and reconciliation. Campion is one of the 3 federated colleges at this university, and we're also the only Jesuit undergraduate college in Canada. And so we have a mission to form men and women for others. Our mission actually is quite simple. It's to form the whole person, socially, intellectually, and spiritually, for service to society. So everything that we're talking about today is very much in keeping with our mission at Campion. And we do so not just on our own, but in collaboration with our federated partners and with the wider community. And we know that our graduates are trained not only for a career, but especially a vocation of service. We instill in our graduates, our students, a sense of giving back to community in ways that make it more compassionate, more just, and more human. And certainly in an age where people are building walls, we're dedicated to building bridges, to understanding the other, and to learning what the other has to teach us. In recent years, this long-standing commitment to community engagement, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary, and we've been doing this for a long time, but it evolves. And so the newest addition to that is our Engaged Learning program. And we're quite proud of it. And I'm quite proud of our Engaged Learning coordinator, Sarah Hanna, who's sitting here and who you will hear from later on today. Sarah connects students with dozens of local service agencies, and it's not just service work. They get credit for it in their courses, and Sarah helps them reflect on this experience and how it's transformed them as a person. Our philosophy is that education is to transform the human person, to go out then and transform our society. We also provide financial support to students for overseas service learning projects, and I'm happy to give that money away for students who are going overseas to make a difference. As the great Canadian humanitarian Jean Vanier wrote in his book, Community and Growth, a community that is growing rich and seeks only to defend its goods and its reputation is dying. It has ceased to grow in love. A community is alive when it is poor and its members feel that they have to work together and remain united. It is only when we stand up with all our failings and sufferings and try to support one another rather than withdraw into ourselves that we can fully live the life of community. On behalf of Campion College, I hope that your discussion and discernment today is blessed with much wisdom, courage, and compassion. You're truly making a difference in our community and in our world. Thank you very much.
And finally, I'd like to call forward Luther College President, Dr. Bryan Hillis.
I think the last time I shook Volker's hand was when he became dean 6 years ago, so it was quite an experience right there. Thank you very much. I want to welcome you all on behalf of Luther College to this important forum. Luther College has always been concerned about issues of social justice and community engagement. From the time I was a student here, I remember those being themes in our classes. And since I've been a faculty member here, I know that it has been something that really does engage the research of our faculty in so many areas. When our faculty a few years ago were considering strategic initiatives by which we would distinguish ourselves on this university campus, something like the Voluntary Sector Studies Network came to mind. Something in which our research would engage the community was top of mind. Early pioneers in the development of this idea were Dr. Gloria DeSantis. Is Gloria here today? No. Now in the University Department of Human Justice, Dr. Brenda Anderson, Dr. Mary Vetter, and of course, our Dean, Volker Greifenhagen. Soon there was a steering committee in which other faculty like Roger Petrie and many others became involved. But the entire faculty were from the very beginning interested in this project and wanted us to make funds available to move something like VSSN forward. Because it so fit with the motto of our college, which is to think deeply, act passionately, and live faithfully. Key aspects of what VSSN would become soon became evident: education, community engagement, and research. A steering committee was formed, as I've said, and the basic forum took place. It really took off, however, with the arrival of Dr. Yvonne Harrison about 9 months ago, whose energy, research, connections, expertise, and overall vision of what VSSN should become, VSSN has really taken off. So Luther College is very happy to invite you to this forum of VSSN, in which we welcome the community, but also the university, frankly, to engage this topic as a university sector. Because this research, this idea of research and community and engagement has always been at the very heart of what VSSN was meant to be. I want to thank all the organizers of the forum, but I'm going to lift up in particular Jennifer Bilan, who provides so much support to the program, and as I mentioned, Dr. Yvonne Harrison, whose creativity and energy really went into developing this conference. I look forward to listening, perhaps even participating, but I know that this will be a great conference, and I wish you all of God's richest blessings in our deliberations here today. Thank you.
All right, I think we're ready to move into the main event. And so I'd like to call the director of the Voluntary Sector Studies Network, Dr. Yvonne Harrison, forward to introduce the keynote speaker.